Old textbook. You got a textbook?
Yes.
Did you buy it at the bookstore?
Yes, it is.
Did you get a disc with it?
I didn't get a disc, but I got a code for
You got a code. That's all you need.
See, I put in the code, and it's only like a 14-day trial for Cengage Unlimited.
Do what now?
So I used the code, and it gave me a 14-day trial for Cengage Unlimited. Do I need only Cengage or also the unlimited version?
Just Cengage. Okay. Whatever your code works for.
Okay, thank you.
All right. We will begin class. Maybe some others will show up. Maybe not. Amber, Paul, Cole, Robert, Alexandra, Say, Matthew. I think he's live streaming. I know, okay. Is AHMADOU here? How do you pronounce that? Wanda? I'll never get see it. Business? Alexander Payne? Justin? Margot? Harper? Walter Harris? Ryan? Mark, that's good thing, right? Okay. Diamond? LICA? Mike? Colton? Kelly? Johnny? Jeff? Sam's, S-A-M-S, Sam's. Courtney? Keely? Jacob? Joshua? Corey Williams? Levi? Okay, some of these folks, a couple of them requested live streaming. Now, I've had crazy emails. I tried to go into live text and I couldn't find anything. You do not go into live text. I tried to go into the Bluefield State Video Center. You do not go into Bluefield State Video Center. That was the old system. The new system is what I'm using now, and you only have to go to Moodle. Now, let me show you Moodle here for a minute, if I can get into it real quick. Okay, all of you know, and one lady said I couldn't get into Moodle. I didn't know the password or the username. Well, when you log into your My Bluefield State, is that where you find Moodle? Okay, but you may have to know a password or username to get into My Bluefield State. All right, here is Principles of Accounting. A couple of things I want to show you. All right. Now, the first thing, I just put that on there this morning, getting into Cengage. Okay. That sheet of paper I handed to you requires a lot of typing to put in that name. But here, I create a link for you. Okay. So now you just have to go to Moodle. click on this link to go to Cengage. Okay, which will make it easier for some of you. Now, this young man's already been into Cengage, okay? And you've already registered your code, right? And this link took you to my course on Cengage. And your key lets you into that course. And did you look at the first assignment?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So we've got one person that's got into Cengage. Now, I see you have the loose lead. You must have the key also. Has anybody else got the loose lead? You got the key. Y'all got the key. Now, some of my nice students had hard copies where they got used books. That's okay. But when you go here to register, if you don't have a key, it may let you purchase one. Did you see that option? Did it give you the option of purchasing a key or? Okay. So you got your book real cheap. I don't know what the cost of that key will cost. I don't know the cost. But it will let you into Cengage. So you will like Cengage once you get into it and start doing your homework. Did you start a homework problem?
Yes.
All right. Do you know what score you made on it?
Well, I haven't finished it, but so far I've finished about 20%.
Okay, about 20%. Okay. But it will let you know your score, and I think it will let you keep working at it. You could actually make 100 if you worked at it. Okay, somebody come in late. I believe Miss Courtney. I believe it's Courtney. Isn't it Courtney Stevens? All right. Let me get your last name.
Wimmer.
Wimmer and
Webster.
Wimmer and Webb. At least you kept the W's together coming in. Okay. Okay, so that sheet of paper I handed to you, you don't need it if you go here and just click on Cengage Brain, blank, course E, and it's got all these numbers in here. I had to type that in yesterday to get into my course and look at it. And hey, you can leave out a letter and put in a different number, whatever. So, but here, all right, now, other things about Moodle. Okay, this is a correct syllabus. Now, this is the lecture for Monday, Tuesday. All right, but now this was my lecture for last night. It's a 3-hour class. I've got to do 2 days in one. Okay, but here is 1 day. So yours will be like this. The other accounting class will be labeled night class. Now here should give you solutions to all chapters if you need them. But a solution is just to look at, not to copy. It can help you or it can hurt you. If you look at it to check an answer or a problem, it can help you. But if you just copy it, it will hurt you. Okay, and there may be another PowerPoint, which I'm going to use this morning anyway. Now, these were old assignments, okay? But sure, they're available after August 7, 2018. And if I was using the old system, I would just change the dates on these things. But if you can't get into Cengage, then these exercises are optional. You do not have to do these if you do the work on Cengage, okay? All right, any questions? Did that clear you up in the back? Okay. Okay. We are, this thing has the technology. to put the camera, I guess, on you guys and a camera for me, but I've learned that students out there that may be live streaming this morning, or they'll live stream later. Now remember, if you're live streaming right now, I will count you present if you will text me at 276-964-3431. And if you're live streaming now, if you're watching us real time, or if you watch this tomorrow or Saturday or whatever, I need a one-page summary if you're not in the classroom. I know one student was complaining to another instructor that was just unfair, extra work and so forth. It is not extra work. It's for you to know what's going on in class, so forth. But anyway, that student didn't want to do the work, but that was to another instructor. All right, but I found out students wanted to see material. They don't care if they see everybody in class or if they see me or what have you. So that's where we are. Okay, let me run through a PowerPoint real quick. And some of this we're repeating from Tuesday, of course, okay? But here were the three type businesses we slightly mentioned, and we'll cover a service business the first part of this semester, merchandise next part of this semester. And of course, manufacturing will come second semester. All right. And of course, proprietorships will be this semester for both type business. Partnerships will be next semester, and corporation for all three type business. But if you have a book, these PowerPoints are right from your book, pretty much page by page. Role of accounting, of course, accounting is the heart of a business. You have to have it. And accounting is used by a lot of people. And GAAP, of course, managerial accounting will be the manufacturing accounting. Don't need to say much about that. We do have financial accounting. That's what you're going to study. That's all you need to know about this page. That's what we're studying now, financial accounting. Ethics, we mentioned ethics somewhat, and there are unethical people in every profession. Now, in my ninth class, I had a young lady from Spain, and I had a young man from France, and I had another young man. I asked him where he was from. He said from Spain and France. I said, you can't be from both. Okay. So I guess he's from Spain, but his daddy is from France. Okay. But he lives in Spain. But one thing I want to say about those international students, they do add flavor to the campus, and you can learn about other countries once you talk to them. But they've got barriers that you don't have. Those three live out at this old long time motel, I guess. It's not the best condition, but drug sales and noise and so forth. And I think they had to use public transportation to get here, and it's like we'll take it back. So they don't have driver's license. They're tennis players. They got to play tennis. And one young man, his language is not great. And no matter how good their language is, Giorgio, some of you have seen Giorgio around. Now he's a tutor. And Giorgio will be in Conley Hall. If you need tutoring, Giorgio will be up there. Now Giorgio is from the country of Georgia. Even though he speaks English well, many times a term or a word in class he needed explaining. Some of the things we take for granted. So they have a lot of barriers to overcome, and most of them are A students. You don't have these barriers, so you should be A student. Okay? You've got a driver's license. You don't have to stay at loud old motel room where it's noisy. And you should know most of the words that we use, whether it's an accountant or I use it, whatever. All right. Now, last year, one of our best accounting students was from Germany, Lorenzo, and he got probably pretty high honors on awards day and money for it. Okay. So ethics, and I think these international students, they know what ethics are. I asked them last night. All right, accounting and business fraud. Now, I mentioned Enron, but here were some others. Helps, I know Xerox Corporation. They recognized $3 billion revenue, but it should have prior to when it should have been recorded. So hey, they put it down now, and they're not going to make it until next year. Enron reported financial results. They put on their balance sheet maybe millions of barrels of oil, but those barrels were empty. They didn't have the oil. They were falsifying their assets. All right, so bankruptcy senior executives were convicted. In Health South, they were convicted. Quest Communication, CEO, and 6 others convicted. Xerox had to pay a $10 million fine. And 6 executives were forced to pay $22 million. So there are penalties. Do the crime, you pay the fine or whatever the said might be. All right. Failure of individual character, culture of greed, and ethical difference. We do have greed in this society. Identify an ethical decision by using your personal ethical standards of honesty and fairness. All right. Now, sometimes it's a hard line between ethical and not ethical, what you do. All right. Now, let's say we've got a big corporation in this country that produces insecticides. Okay. Now, they're illegal in this country, but they're harmful. But let's say we've got a third world country that's very, very poor, and we use or sell that insecticide to them so they can have more crops. If we don't sell it to them, they starve to death. If we do sell it to them, they have more crops, but they may get sick or live not as long. So that's a dilemma when it comes to ethics. Do you sell it to them or do you not? Okay. Accountants is private accountants and CPAs. There's so many job titles in accounting, and some of those: bookkeeper, payroll clerk, general accountant, budget, cost accountant, internal auditor, information technology auditor. All right, Dr. Bourne's daughter went into accounting. Now, Dr. Sneed's daughter, I had her in accounting. She's somewhere up in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Dr. Bourne's daughter went to work for the big, I guess it's the big 3 now, accounting firm. And she's ready to be made a partner. A partner, one of the big 3 accounting firms, she'll make at least $250,000 a year, maybe $500,000 a year being a partner. Okay? So my own daughter went through accounting. She worked for a big 6, at that time, accounting firm in St. Louis. And she traveled to 39 states and many, many cities. She was auditor for one of the big 6. She passed her CPA in Missouri and had it transferred to Tennessee. And she also did some extra part in Virginia, so she's CPA in about 3 or 4 states. So she went through the big auditing firms, Then she went to Costa County at Tennessee Eastman, then a Costa County for bush beans. And she always got samples of those new bush beans that they come out with. And from there, she went to an internal auditor for a hospital in Knoxville, Tennessee. Then she became, I guess, the budget director for Covenant Hospital, which they have a lot of clinics and so forth. And they were training her to be the chief financial officer. And she decided to stay home with her kids. So she's certified CPA in 3 states, but right now she's not using it. So there's plenty of opportunities in accounting, if that will be your route. But accounting is not for everybody, just like everybody don't like biology. Everybody don't like whatever you're doing in engineering. What part of engineering are you going into? Engineering management? Well, but industrial engineer, electrical engineer, mining engineer, what? Right? Oh, you're industrial. How about you?
I'm electrical.
Electrical engineer, okay. So there's different engineers, just like they are different accountants, okay? I had one student, I had 2 last year, and they're introverted. What's introverted mean? What? One of them, I don't know if he has a job yet. Got to contact him, see how it's going. But one of them got off of Coke Motors, and here she's doing real well. She'll come out that introverted a little bit. Right now, as long as she's working with inventory and accounts, payables and receivables and everything, she's gonna have to deal with very many people. So that can happen in accounting. Or if you're in auditing, you've got to meet a lot of people. You better not be introverted if you're an accounting auditor. Okay, so much about some of the jobs, private, public, governmental. Every business, big or small, needs an accountant. Every government unit needs an accountant, okay? And we use GAAP as we were talking about. Security Exchange Commission oversees a lot of our corporations. We talked about the business entity. My next class, there's some young man, he's a handyman while he's going to school, and he gets a lot of work. And then we have a young man here the other day that had online clothing business. All right. But I hope he keeps his business checking separated from his personal checking. And then we have these 3 forms of ownership: proprietorship, partnership, corporation. And this one is up and coming. It's new, the newest one, a limited liability company, LLC, and so forth. That could be CPA firms, but one owner, 2 or more stockholders, okay? And let's see, is anybody in here married? Of course, marriage is a partnership of some nature, okay? The woman is usually the president and the treasurer. Okay, so the forms of ownership. You know, we have the right in this country, the free enterprise system, the market system, to have all this ownership. Okay, in some countries, those rights are not the same as ours. When you had a pure communist country, the government owned and ran everything. Our government runs the post office and the military. They're 2 big operations. All right, under the cost concept, I mentioned to you the other day, so I will repeat that. Under the cost concept, if something were advertised for 100,000 and you paid 80, but it's appraised at 92, which one goes on your accounting records? The cost. And that's what the cost concept is. All right. To see these things, I can mark anywhere I want to, and it's designed to erase anything I decide to scribble on. All right, same deal here. Price listed was 160. Their offer was 140, but they actually paid 150. And selling price was 220. Appraised value was 190. There's 5 values, but you use what you paid, 150. All right, what's your answer here? Read this and tell me your answer. Whoops. Anybody got an answer on this one? All right, 400 and what? All right. If that's what you paid, it was priced. The seller's counter offer. They accepted it, so 460. Sounds like a highway near here, don't it? Okay. All right, the accounting equation. We talked about this the other day. Assets is something you own or is owed for. And liability is something you definitely owe for. And owner's equity is what you invest. All right. If liabilities are 80 and owner's equity is 120, then what is your assets? How much? All right. If assets is 500 and liabilities is 200, then what is owner's equity? All right, you can fill that one in simply if you got 2, you can fill in the other one. The accounting equation has to stay the same. All right, the resource is owned by a business or is owed for. That does not include people. That includes cash and merchandise inventory and equipment and buildings and automobiles. The rights of the owners, that's what they have invested. All right, answer A part. Take a minute, answer A part. How much? Take a minute and answer B part. Come on. All right. Assets had increased by 130. So assets were 930, correct? And liabilities had decreased by 25, so those went down to 325. So what is 325 plus 605? Be 930, or 930 minus 325 gives you 605. You can plug in that Acct equation, even from information such as this. A business transaction will affect two items. In high school, you would have called it double entry bookkeeping. All right. A transaction will affect two items. Here, if we start a business, what two items are affected? We start a business. Assets is what you put in. That's also your capital. So it affects two things. Okay. The Acct equation has to equal. Now, this is the equation that we ran through a little bit the other day, or started to. We'll run through it real quick again. All right. We bought land. Now we've got two assets, but still totals 25,000, and equity is still 25. All right. What we decided to do here? What happened here? We bought supplies that increased our assets. How did we buy those supplies? How we buy them? On credit, yeah, which will be an accounts payable. So now our Acct equations went up to 26,350. What did we do here? We made money, didn't we? Whatever we're in business for, and we took cash and fees earned. You will see fees earned will increase capital. Revenue has different names: sales, rent revenue, interest revenue. Accounts receivable is not a revenue account, but we have to count it as revenue. All right. We had expenses, didn't we? We took it out of cash. Now, expenses reduce capital. Revenue increases capital. What happened here? Credit card or accounts payable, what have you. How many of you have a credit card? Who has a credit card? Do you get something back from a credit card? Do you get points? Do you get gifts? Do you get sky miles? To keep those paid off, they're okay. But credit cards, if you let them go, it gets you in debt. Okay, that's definitely a liability, isn't it? Now, credit cards, 20 to 24% ridiculous rate. It's like throwing money out the window. You get a traffic ticket and have to pay for it. That's throwing money out the window. All right. Okay, so what did we do here? We counted our supplies. We had bought them in advance. And when we subtracted that from our total, we used 800. So that reduces supplies 800. That increases your supplies expense by 800. It affects two things. Now, what happened here? What? Personal use. Now, proprietor does not give himself a W-2. He does not take taxes out on himself. He pays taxes on the net income. He does not pay taxes on his withdrawals. All right, now here's the whole thing. Now, I'm going to bring this back to you in a minute after I show you some formats of items. From here, you can do an income statement. And from here, you can do a balance sheet. And from here, you can do an equity statement. So, well, I wanted to show you the income statement first. All right. Now, just on plain paper, get a picture of that income statement in your mind. It has a company heading. It has titled income statement. It's for the year ending April the 30th, 2019. Now you put the income over here and the expenses over here. All right. Now what I want you to do is go back right here and take your revenue and your expenses and finish that income statement. Take a minute and do that. Remember, 3 parts of the heading: name of the company, for period ending, income statement. Now I want you to write down revenue on the right, add up your expenses, subtract, and give me the net income. Try to write it in pretty good form. The revenue and expenses. Take your revenue minus your expenses, give me the net income. Well, but it, the number that you do. I can't avoid that, something is hard to see. I lost, however you blow it up. Anyway, just jot down your fees earned, 7,500, and put down your expenses in the right column. Total the expenses, subtract from your revenue, and give me net income.
Your office expenses include your rent, your supplies.
Yeah, you've got 4 expenses. You've got wage, rent, supplies, utilities, miscellaneous, 5 expenses. Put down your income, write down your 5 expenses. Yeah, that's the fees earned, which is 7,500. No, that's just a total of your liability. No, we don't put down the 27,500.
for 1 month, correct?
Yeah, some of you are going to have an anxiety attack. So let me show you that income statement. All I wanted you to do was put down the revenue and the expenses. There's 5 of them, and give me net income. This is not it. This is another example, but it's in this format. Revenue minus expenses gives me net income. All right, but I got to go back to the other for you to get the numbers. Now the expenses, does someone have those added up? 4,001. And your revenue is 7,500. So what is your net income? 3,001. That would be your final answer then, $3,050. But does somebody have it in good format? What kind of format? Yeah, okay. That's still a pretty good format. Yeah, that's pretty good format. But Cengage will give you the form, okay? You have the form. Cengage. Okay. That's okay. But anyway, if you didn't get finished, that's okay. Now, after you do an income statement, you've got to take beginning equity. Somebody put these numbers down for me. 25. All right. You've got to add net income of 3,050. Add these two together. 25 and 3,050. That's 2,850, right? And subtract drawing. So your ending capital would be how much? How much? Okay. If you take beginning capital 25 and add 3,050 to it, that's 2,850. Now subtract from 2,850 2,000. It leaves 2,650, don't it? Now that's what we call a capital statement or statement of owner's equity. You start out with beginning capital, you add net income, subtract withdrawals. Okay, but in this case, the owner put in an additional 50,000. That's a plus. Income's a plus. Withdrawals is a minus. And then your balance sheet. Okay. I want you to look at this one real quick. We have assets, don't we? Is equal to liabilities plus owner's equity. Is that correct? Assets. These are plus. Liabilities, owner's equity. Okay. Now, going back. Okay, you know what owner's equity is. So give me the total of the assets. Somebody add up all the assets. Is it 26,450? Is it? All right. Then add up all the liabilities, which is just one, right? And that's 400. And what did we say our ending capital was? Now, do those still equal? Assets is equal to liabilities plus capital. And that would be a balance sheet if you put it down in this form. All right. Find yourself a pattern to go by. Cengage would have these forms, but I will have to copy. All of you don't have books. I'll have to copy out Tuesday. We got to practice these statements in class in the correct format, like you see it here. I'll bring you in the problem if I need to. If all of you had books, we can just turn to an exercise and do it. Or if enough of you have books, then we can share one per table or something. But we've got to be able to do these by Tuesday. Okay. Now, cash flow, I'm not worried about. We'll have a complete chapter later, but this is cash from your business activities. This is from buying and selling assets or buying other company stocks and bonds. And this is financing, either long-term loans or sell stock or sell bonds. But now cash flow. Where do y'all get your cash from?
Work.
The work? That's the best place. Some of you get it from parents. Where? Gamble's not usually a cash flow, it's an outflow. Well, as you students, I know where you get your money from. Some of you get it from your parents. That's probably very few. Okay, some of you get scholarships. Some of you get Pell Grants. Some of you may get student loans. All right, some of you may work part-time, you're a student worker. See a couple of student workers in here, and that's where some of their money comes from. That's your cash inflow. Where does it go to? Buying books, paying tuition, gasoline, down at the student center, lunchtime. So where does your cash come from? Where does your cash go? Okay. But we're not going to worry about cash flow till we get to that chapter. Here's a cash flow statement I'll briefly show you. Money received from customers, paid expenses. It's your net cash flow from operations. Cash flow for investing, you bought land. Cash receipt from financing is the owner. And that's your cash in and your cash out. That's all it is. Okay, financial statements once again. An income statement. Now, this statement here sometimes is called a connecting statement. You've got net income here. Now, this is the one you should have written down. How close does your statement look like this one? That's the one that I had you working on. How close does it look? Now, you've got to put in the correct dollar marks. A dollar mark in at the beginning of a column and in front of a sum or difference. You will put double lines here under the final answer, okay? You will have a correct heading. It's for the month ending. Same with the owner's equity statement. Dollar mark at the beginning of the column and a final answer. Now, I say this connected statement because what is your ending capital? 26,000 what? All right. That 2650 has to go on a balance sheet. That comes from your owner's equity statement. That's why I call it a connected statement. So here we have our asset, which I had you to add up. Here's our liability, Here's our ending owner's equity, and here we balance. Now, the only thing a cash flow is showing you, cash is not necessarily income. Right here is your income, cash received from customers. That don't mean you have it. Now, I've done taxes for small business before, zip in markets, and they don't know why they have to pay taxes like this income statement, why they have to pay taxes on $3,050. They only took out two. They have to pay taxes on net income, $3,050. So they zip in markets. They bought a lot of inventory, and they bought coolers and different things, and they tied the money up in something else, but they still had to pay taxes on it. Now, we will get balance sheets and income statements in future chapters. If you don't learn it in chapter 1, you'll learn it later. Now, a balance sheet is for a day and time, November 30th. It's not for a period ending. And beginning of a column, sum or difference. Beginning of a column, sum or difference is a dollar mark, and double lines. Double lines after a total or a difference. Let's see if I've got one student watching live. They did text me, so forth. So I wanted to check. So that student is present. Okay, so an income statement, statement of owner's equity, and a balance sheet. Okay, now they've got a couple of ratios in this chapter. Ratio of liabilities to owner's equity, total liabilities over total owner's equity. So go ahead and do this. Answer A and B on this ratio. All right, remember, here's all you got to do. Here's your formula. L over owner's equity, L over OE. All right, someone, what is your ratio for 2019? How much? 1.5? And how about 1 point what? All right, what year do you think the company is in the best shape? It's liabilities to owner's equity. Here you have 1.5 times as many liabilities as you do equity. Here 1.4 times. So this year was the better year, 2018. I don't know what's happened to this thing. it went all the way back to the beginning there, I guess, on some of these items. Uh, I'll find in a minute where we were. I guess that's the end of the slideshow. Okay. We're not spending forever on chapter 1. We will finish it up Tuesday, start chapter 2. So if you get a change, read chapter 2. One of your real accounting starts in chapter 2. We will practice chapter 1 Tuesday with a balance sheet, the income statement, and the owner's equity statement. And hopefully we're going to start on chapter 2. Okay. But for today, let me end class by giving you a little quiz. This quiz is not to be turned in. This quiz is for your own purposes. It's silly in a way. I want to prove that you do not listen to me. You do not use rational thinking in your decisions. You do what you always have done. I can prove that in a 4-question quiz. Okay? Let's see how we do. All right. Go ahead and draw this box if you would. All right. So take this little quiz. In the first box, there's a written I. Put a dot on the I. Okay? I'll repeat every question twice. In the first box is a written I. Put a dot on the I. In the second box, write the word girl, G-I-R-L. In the second box, write the word girl. Now in the third box, any of you all live on a farm? Anybody live on a farm? All right. But this is mommy, bull, daddy, bull, and neither. Circle 1. Mom, dad, neither. All right, but let me give you the question first. All right. If there's a baby calf on the farm, who does it go to when it needs fed? Does it go to mommy bull, daddy bull, or neither? That's your question. Does that baby calf, when it wants to be fed, go to mommy bull, daddy bull, or neither? Okay. Last question. These are 4 words. I write so big with this, I couldn't write them. rug, R-U-G, drum, D-R-U-M, sex, S-E-X, and egg, E-G-G, okay? Now, there's one answer to this question. All right, circle one, okay? Now, a drum has 4 letters. That is not necessarily the answer because it has 4 letters. I want you to circle one of these 4 that has no relationship to the other 3. In other words, 3 of these have things in common. Circle one that does not have anything in common with the other 3.
What were they?
A rug, a drum, sex, and an egg. Which 3 have something in common? Circle the one that does not. Are we ready for the answers? Now, how many of you actually put a dot on the I? Never did I say put a dot over the I. 2 people put a dot on the I. How about that? Rest of you missed it. You always do what you always do. All right, you don't listen. Now, did you print the word girl, G-I-R-L? I did not say print the word girl. I said write the word girl. When you write something, you put it in writing, not printing. So if you print the word girl, that's another X. Supposed to write it. Curses, yeah. All right. Whether you live on a farm or not, come on, folks. There's no such thing as a mommy bull. A bull is a male. So you should have circled neither. Who has missed all 3 so far? Missed all 3?
Well, you said just draw the box, so I just drew the box. I didn't write anything in there because I was waiting for instructions to write this stuff.
What?
So I guess.
Okay. So the whole classroom is finished with the test, and he's still waiting here. What's the instruction? Work the test. All right. I'm going to let you go on this answer. All right. You can beat a rug, you can beat an egg, and you can beat a drum. Now, those 3 have something in common, don't they? So you should have circled the word sex. Now, some of you circled different words for different reasons. I don't want to hear about them because you're dirty-minded anyway, and I'll see you too.
Because it never specified what the word or what type of letter. Turn it a test.